AI. It's the big trend at the moment that you probably heard will take developers' jobs away. In this video, I'm going to cover why that is not the case. You may have heard of the term vibe coding. Vibe coding is when you input a command into the text field, the AI agent will read that command and then execute it to create your app. The problem is, if a non-technical person creates apps this way, then you're going to run into problems, mainly with the code structure. Code isn't going to be created in a readable way, and as a result, it's going to be hard to maintain that code. And plus, if you're relying on AI, you're more likely that the code will essentially become duplicated. Not only that, but you can run into issues such as security and testing with the app that's made by the AI. So when a non-technical person is using AI, they're always going to assume that the app is working when they test it, but then in the code there may be underlying problems. If an experienced developer was relying on AI to create the code, then that developer would always make sure to review that code to make sure it's correct. Also, the other issue with AI is that the price to use AI is going to increase over time, so that's going to make it much more difficult to do vibe coding. So I want to bring up an example of a similar tool in the past, and this tool allowed you to sort of generate code, and this application is called Adobe Dreamweaver. So Adobe Dreamweaver was an application that web designers would use as a way for them to generate code, as web designers are more familiar with creating graphics rather than doing actual coding. So you would think this is an application that could essentially replace developers as it generated the code. Except that never happened. So what actually happened? The code generated by Adobe Dreamweaver was considered bloated. It couldn't evolve to responsive websites where websites need to work for smartphones and tablets. Also, web technology improved, where we now rely on JavaScript frameworks and libraries such as React when we do development on the front end. So to summarize, AI is not something that's going to replace web developers. There's always going to be a need, a demand for web developers. AI is a tool that web developers can use to accelerate their productivity by using it to leverage their web development. Also, you will have a competitive advantage over other web developers who do not use AI in their development. I have a more detailed roadmap on how to get started in web development. Click the link in the description to get access to the web development roadmap PDF guide. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Leave a comment below if you have any queries or any issues, and thanks for watching.